Romans brought the first finds more than 2,000 years ago to the Mosel Valley, and they drove along the river, and the places where the snow melted first in winter, there they started planting vines. And the traditional villages are Erden, Ürzig, Wehlen, Brauneberg, Piesport, and these are the places where we have the oldest finds.
We are about in the latitude of New York, so our harvest starts in the middle of October, which gives us a really long ripening time. We basically have about 20 to 30 days more of hanging time, of ripening time, compared to the southern wine growing regions of the world. And if the harvesting time is longer, the Riesling really creates more aromas than in other wine growing regions.
We're really on the edge of where you could theoretically make wine, but because we have this special situation of this protected valley by these very steep slopes where the warmth is kept really well, plus the slate who also takes the warmth up really well and reflects it to the grapes. That's how we get the grapes ripe, because if you want to make a nice wine, you need to have the possibility to get grapes extremely ripe in a sense of physiological ripeness.
In the central Mosel Valley we have quite a few different grapes, but the main grape is Riesling.
In every Riesling you will find something distinctive, and this distinctive is really coming from the soil. So the silicon soil is different from the Kartäuserhof soil, it's different from the hard soil, and so on. And this distinctive character, this is really what is showing up in the Riesling. And there's no other grape in the world showing this characteristic and this beautiful plurality of different wines, but always recognizing it's a Riesling.
We cannot use any machines in our steep vineyards. Everything is done by hand, hand-selected. The harvest is done by hand.
The key wine rivers are the Rhine and the Mosel, and I wouldn't forget also the little river Saar and the little river Ruwer who go into the Mosel. They belong to our area Mosel, and they're also very neat.
Tasting this wine from all my colleagues with this different soil and showing this plurality, this is something which you can find only in the Riesling.
So if you have, for example, this Kabinett from Zeltinger Sonnenuhr, when it's very young, you have like all this exotic fruit up front in your mouth, and peach, apricot, mango, but you always have this dryish finish. You always taste, oh, there is the terroir, there is the minerality.
In Ürzig, you have this more mineral character, really spicy character, due to the fact of this mineralic slate, whereas in Bernkastel you don't have that much minerality. It's just the normal blue slate of the Middle Mosel Valley.
The Kartäuserhof is always a wine showing this typical minerality. This minerality which is coming from the soil, from the iron creek. This is typically what is showing our Kartäuserhof wines. It's in combination with the acidity structure, because it's a small valley, it's quite cold at night, it's quite warm in the day. This is what gives to our wines the raciness of the Riesling. And this is really the characteristic of our wine.
This wine is the Montroff Estate Riesling. It's a blend of the vineyards Würzgarten and Trepchen. When you have the wines from the Würzgarten vineyard with the red slate soil, it's a wine with very tropical fruit in the front, rich in aromas. And when you come to the Trepchen vineyard, it's more the lighter blue slate. The wines have more finesse, not such a powerful fruit in the front, but very, very much finesse in the end of the taste. I love Riesling because the alcohol is quite low and I can drink every evening one bottle. And I'm in best health, the doctor said to me. And people are born there with two different legs, one shorter, one longer. It's easier to work for them. And when you will come to help us in the harvest, we will cut your leg. It's only painful in the first year, okay?